our young people have stepped forward to engage on the affairs of their country. They have done a democratic duty to stand and be recognized. And I want to tell you, we are going to have a conversation with you.
For the last couple of days, Kenya has witnessed a very strong wave. A wave involving the young ones in the society. Some call them Bogi, some call them Gen Z. We are here engaging members of the public, particularly members who believe they are in the same generation, to actually understand what this is all about. It is a powerful wave, and they are telling members of the public that Kisumu and just like other parts of the country will not be left behind. I will directly give opportunity to some of the group's representatives one by one to help us understand. Kama kijana kuja tu karibu. Kumekuwa na wave, kumekuwa na msukumo wa vijana nchini Kenya karibu wiki moja imepita kuhusiana na masuala ya bajeti, na sasa ni kama vijana wameamua mambo hayatakuwa ni kama kawaida hapa nchini Kenya. Wewe kama kijana, wakati unashiriki ama wakati unajihusisha na kikundi hiki, nini inakusukuma ama nini imekutuma sana kujitambua na hii wave ambayo inashuhudiwa nchini Kenya kwa hivi sasa?
Mimi kitu ambayo imenisukuma mpaka nikatoka nje ni hali ya gharama, kwa sababu maisha imekuwa magumu. Na maisha imekuwa magumu kulingana na serikali ambayo tuko nayo. Serikali ambayo tuko nayo haijali maslahi ya watu ambao walipiga kura, haijali kilio watu ambao walipiga kura. Kwa sasa tumeshagundua hawasikii maneno, bali wanasikia tu kama watu wanakimbia kwenye streets. Ni kwa maana tumesema sisi tujitokeze nje kama vijana, kwa sababu wanajiona wameshakuwa wazee, na sisi kama vijana ambao wanakuja hawajali maslahi yetu. Sisi pia tumesema waje tujipiganie, ndiposa tutafute haki yetu. Asante.
Na kama vijana, labda hao wazee mnataka tu watoke kabisa, ama ni wazee mnaweza fanya na hao kazi, ama tu ni sasa ni mambo na vijana kama wewe ni mzee jipange?
Hakuna kitu ambacho tutasema na wazee, kwa sababu miaka yao imeshapita na imeshapita. Sasa ni vijana ndio wanafaa kuongoza nchi. Na hii nchi ni ya vijana, kwa sababu nchi ambayo iko na vijana ni nchi ambayo iko na mwelekeo. Kwa kuwa kwa saa hii mambo ya wazee hatuwataki kwa hii maneno. Mambo ya wanasiasa hatutaki. Saa hii tunatengeneza mambo ya uchumi kama vijana, ndiposa maisha yetu ikue mzuri mbeleni.
So a very powerful group of energetic youths. You saw them in Nairobi. They are doing it in a different way. You know, they are saying they are coming in a disciplined manner. They are peaceful, and the message has been the same across Kenya. Maybe as a youth, what message will you want to remind that person who is still doubting that this wave is real?
What I want to say as a young person is, we are out and we are making a difference. We want to make a difference in the current happenings of our country, Kenya. And someone who still believes we are just out to joke is someone who is still living in denial. Because as young people, there's one thing we always say, like, why did just life become too expensive and too difficult when it is our time to grow? Then we realize it is not difficult. It is the people that we have in the government and in the system that has made life very difficult and expensive on us. Then we realize, what can we do so that we reduce this burden and make sure we have a conducive country where we can exist harmoniously without feeling the heat that we are feeling currently. And that is why we are out, and that is why we are saying we are not going to relent.
Honorable Speaker, I say that because I know, and I know many of these members, including myself, we have suffered a lot of harassment. And I was asking the leader of minority this morning whether he has suffered the same. And he told me his phone is worse. Many of these members of parliament today, Honorable Speaker, you cannot reach them on their phones because they have blocked their phones, including WhatsApp. But this is the beauty of our democracy, Honorable Speaker.
And we are going to march forward until we get what we want. And we are telling the current leaders that we have, if you know your time is, if you know you are old person, start getting ready and start packing your bags, because we want a country where everyone understands what is their role and what they are supposed to do. So we are not going to entertain these lazy leaders that we have, someone who doesn't know kazi yenye anafaa afanye. So that is why we are not moving back, and we are going to march until we get Kenya back to where it's supposed to be. Yes.
A very powerful message, and still coming from the youths across Kenya. And we have those who are now bringing claims that there is donor funding. There is that Russia, Ukraine. Those who are anti-Russia or anti-Ukraine are funding the youth to destabilize the world. Are you part of those who have been maybe funded to bring chaos in Kenya as a youth? Will you accept such a comment?
Okay, first of all, Mr. Odera, I would like to tell the daydreamers who think that the wave that has just started is a small wave. I want to remind them that throughout history, it is the young generation that has provided means through which societies have been transformed. It happened in South Africa, it happened in Japan, it has happened across the world if you look at history. And Kenya is not an exception. In fact, this is a revolution of the young people. And they should ignore it at their own peril. What I want to tell you is that there is no one who is funding us. That is number one. Number two, in this movement, there is no leader. Everyone is a leader. And that is why young people are coming out, because they are agitated voluntarily. They understand what this punitive finance bill holds for us. There are those who are thinking that these young people are just on the street because they are idle, because they do not have a job. And we've had such comments from very many people, and especially the older generation. We want to tell them that some of us, our parents, did not even get an opportunity to reach college or university. But they paid our fee and we pursued economics at the university. And we want them to know that we are understanding what is happening with the finance bill more than many of our parents. So they should just sit and relax and give us time to fix the messes that they caused. So no one is funding this movement. And if there's anyone, those politicians and the leaders who are still in delusion and think that there's somebody behind this movement, it will be too late when finally it will catch up with them. And we want to remind the president that the final say shall be with him, that he should not assent to that bill. There's still a chance. He should not assent to that bill, because the majority have said that they are not comfortable with that bill. And if we are the ones who are donating power to the leaders to represent us, if we have said we do not want it, if you are forcing us with that bill, in whose interest are you in that office? So no one is funding this movement. This movement is so organic. It is young people who understand that the destiny of this nation, and they understand very well that it's in their hands and it is upon them to rise up and make sure that they have a nation that will ensure that they live a comfortable life and they live a life of dignity. Yes.
We've seen a representation of youth, both male and female, and the female voice is also coming out very strong in this wave. We've seen those who are standing against the water cannons. We've seen those who are openly, defying the police officers and telling them we are peaceful and we are coming here for the sake of the country and for your sake. For once, what is happening? If I would ask that, basically, you as Wakili, what is happening?
There's a funny meme by my colleague Otis who said, if you find pick-me's and if you find all women suddenly all over agreeing, you must know that there is a problem. So various issues are actually affecting us, because we find ourselves a society that shafts, for lack of a better word, a society that shafts men, and in turn men will be able to shaft women. So we don't want to bring that discourse between the paradigm between men and women, but basically we do recognize that right now the economy disparages and we are suffering equally, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, because you find sanitary towels now becomes an issue, where period poverty is now an issue, clean sexual health and everything, and our health as women also becomes an issue. And it is women who actually be able to give birth to a nation. So if you increase taxes on things like diapers and the rest of them, you're basically making it very difficult to bring up the nation. So, and I just want to reiterate what my other speakers have said and just say, yes, we are the young people. We believe we are a movement by ourselves. We do not have a leader. We do not ascribe to the leadership and the political games and schemes of the past that are, for lack of a better word, full of narcissistic tendencies of manipulation and lies and bribery and corruption. We want to set a stage where life is, there's an equal playing field. We'd rather be broke, but broke all of us, yeah, not others enjoying the goodness and the abundance of life out of evils and stealing of public funds. So basically that's a community evil, and I think the way we were saying this thing we do not have, it is spiritual, you know. And 2024, for those who believe in things like science and numerology, 2024, if you add 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4, it becomes 8. 8 is a number of change. 8 is a number of about finances. 8 is a turnaround. You see, when you draw 8, it goes back, and it's like an infinity sign. So the thing we are just saying is that the leaders have actually lied to the older generation for quite some times, and we've noticed a pattern, and this pattern needs to stop, and we are saying it ends with us. If it is a generational curse, this generation is the one that finally liberates this country. And there will be other liberations. They should not think that the independence was it. There are other liberations, and they should give an equal playing field where a person can become an MCA with 0 shillings in their pocket. This thing that you need 3 million shillings to campaign and become a politician should end today. Any person, a matatu tout, should be able to say, I have these views, I'm sitting with my community, we want to change my community. I'm asking them to please give me a chance to represent them, and these are your views, and I am coming out to represent. The same way Gen Zs, you see there's 1 or 2 or 3 people who are coming out to speak, but they are not our leaders. We are a headless chicken. The movement is our leadership.
Surprisingly, politicians in Kenya have been told to keep off. Like, you don't need politicians from any side. You know, why that clear message to the wanasiasa who maybe want to associate with this?
I'll repeat what I said on Thursday. There's nothing honorable about them. Number 2, they have their own personal interest. There's a lot of greed in politics. Yep, they are guided by their own personal interest as opposed to public interest. And even in law, public interest outweighs all other interests. So definitely we do not trust anyone, from whether it's the wheelbarrow side, whether it's under the orange tree. We do not trust any of them, because they are part of the system. They have their own personal interest within the system. So you do not expect the ones who are coming, for example, I can give Honorable Felix Kothe. He voted no plainly to survive, and he's not going to survive. He's not going to survive. He should know, he should pack his bags, he's leaving. We have to sit down and start, it's like a rebirth. It's like after 1963, this is a new 1963, where we sit down and say, we have failed. The rain started beating us at 1, 2, 3, 4. Let them all go back and reconvince us that they are worthy of those seats, and they are worthy to be our representatives, because to represent your country actually is a huge honor. Yes.
Maybe a quick question. Do you feel it is time for the youth maybe to take even leadership? And is this wave maybe just flowing for a few days? Is it something that we might witness for longer than a day or 2?
For me, I think is the most important time for the youths, because previously we have been told that youth is the future leaders, but now the future is right now. We are not waiting to be given. Now we are taking the space. It is a high time that now we tell these elders who have been leading us all the time and they are not doing the right things. We are telling them that this is the right way how things should be done. Because if you look, corruption is so much rampant. No development in this country. because our schools, most of the schools, the infrastructures are not there. Our hospitals have no medics. They have no proper medicals. If you go to hospital, unaambiwa enda nunua dawa kule nje. So hawa wazee wameshindwa na uongozi, na ni wakati wa vijana tuchukue nafasi, na vile tumeanza hakuna kusimama. Tunaenda na vile ndio tunaendanga hadi tufike tamati.
Maybe vijana wanasema kwamba vile kivumbi kimeanza, vile upepo unapepea, hakuna kusimama. Labda kila asubuhi ukiamka asubuhi, nini nakufanya ujitoe useme round hii mimi naenda, round hii sibaki nyuma? What pushes you?
Naweza sema kwa Kiswahili ni kanuni, kwa English it's a matter of principle. We all need as a nation and as a country to have a moral compass and so sort of a principle. I will say a principle compass, because when I say a principle compass, because there's no morality in law. We should have a matter of a principle concert where we all know what is right, we all know what is wrong, and the constitution and the law further guides us on what is legal and what is lawful, what is not lawful. So that has always been my moral compass, and even it guides me in my life because I am a compliance practitioner. I help very many corporates and government institutions to be able to comply with various provisions of law. So I would say for most of us that it's just that we cannot be able to define it, but it is a matter of principle that gets us out here, because we find ourselves that yes, we have this finance bill, but this finance bill is the fruit. There is a root cause somewhere. Bad leadership is the root cause. Lack of accountability is part of the root cause. Those are some of the seeds that grew up this tree, where now we are enjoying punitive laws like the Finance Bill. And there are so many other. If you take a look at the Elections Amendment Act, the Land Laws Amendment Act, they are all very punitive, you know. If you take a look at that law proposed by Ruku, the MP from Mbeere North, against our right to picket peacefully. I mean, it's a right. Why am I asking for permission for it? I should just be able to notify you that I would like to exercise this right from this day to that day at this time. I need your police protection. So those laws are actually very punitive, and they are meant to muzzle us and make us not to speak up, because we see maybe this is a trend where we are going back to the current government wants to take the country back to the draconian times and the dark times of Nyayo House and Underground, and we will not allow that. We have already seen that happening. We cannot be able to go back to that.
Yeah, much is actually happening across Kenya. You know, we have not only the national government, we actually have the devolved systems. We have the 47 governments. Should the governors now sit pretty and say they are clean, they are untouchable, you know, this is only for the president and the National Assembly? Magero, a word to such leaders, you know, we have national devolved system, the county leaders. Are they also part of the problem, and what will you maybe tell them to do before the youth get to them?
Yeah, okay. We know very well that corruption that is ailing our nation is not only in the national government. It's in different county governments, and now that young people have come out to make sure that they fix the messes that have been there, then even county governments should not think that they are spared. Yes, these young people are also going to come for them. We have seen a lot of corruption cases, a lot of embezzlement of our county funds in different county governments. And when we are talking about dropping this finance bill, is because of the clauses which are inside there that are punitive. And when we are saying that, we mean that we do not want corruption in general. We do not want corruption. And it's happening in the county. So once we are done, for now we are concentrating on making sure that the president does not assent to that bill. After that, we shall ensure that we continue with this struggle until everyone who is corrupt is accountable.
Tukimalizia wale vijana, kuna hizi serikali gatuzi, kuna magavana, kuna ma-MCA, kuna wabunge, kuna women rep na kila kiongozi. Najua sasa hii moto imewakia rais na wabunge, but wale viongozi wengine ambao pia wamechaguliwa, labda ni ujumbe upi mko nao kama vijana ambao sasa wamejitokeza na kusema kwamba wanakomboa taifa lao?
Mimi kama kijana nasema mtu yeyote ambaye yuko kwa hii serikali ni adui ya kijana. kwa sababu wao ndio wamesababisha hii kitu, na hakuna haja mbona tuseme ati magavana wako upande mzuri. Wote na rais wameungana na hao ndio wanasambaratisha hii nchi. Tunasema ya kwamba tukitoka juu tunakuja kwa makaunti, na hivyo ndio vile hii kitu inaendelea. Hatutarudi nyuma na tutaendelea tukuenda mbele vile tunaenda mpaka tupate ukombozi wa Kenya. Asante.
It is just a representation of some of the youths in Kenya. We have the youth from Kisumu County, we have the youth from Kondele, we have those representing various universities in Kenya, and even the professionals who are still young. You know, the question is, for the last few days, you've seen the wave flowing across Kenya. The wave, according to the youth, is still on, and it depends where it will get you. So, from Kisumu County, this has been KIVUMBI, and I've been your host, Odera Wycliffe, coming to you live from the Jomo Kenyatta Sports Ground in Kisumu City.